And so when you hear stories like the United States taking action, this is not the first time. Recall that there was an advisory issued around heightened security threats in Abuja, and now they've asked for an evacuation of some of their non-essential members and their families. It's a red flag, and people are going to listen. It is important enough for people to take note of the fact that there must be something, that information and intelligence that they have, that we unfortunately are not, rising up to the occasion to. So whether we like it or not, the world will listen. If America is saying that there are travel advisories in parts of Nigeria, America will listen.
The United States government evacuates Nigeria for insecurity and closed the U.S. embassy in Abuja. What's next? Let's put a thought to it. The United States government, led by President Donald J. Trump, has closed the United States Embassy in Abuja, Nigeria, evacuated the non-essential staff members of the U.S. diplomatic mission, and transferred operations to U.S. Lagos Consulate. And all visa activities and applications have been either cancelled or suspended. According to information in local Nigerian media and media vloggers, and U.S. Department of State on travel.state.gov, Level 3 and 4 travel advisory to Nigeria has been issued to USA citizens regarding travels to 23 out of 36 states of Nigeria, representing 63.89% of the entire Nigeria. Most of these Nigerian states are located in the troubled northern region and southeast plus Rivers states, excluding Port Harcourt City. The reasons given by the U.S. State Department for this travel advisory evacuation of the embassy and transfer of activities to Lagos Consulate and suspension of visa applications is given as due to crimes, terrorism, kidnapping, unrest, and healthcare inconsistency in many places. The heightening of hostility by the U.S. and advising their citizens of America not to visit some parts of Nigeria at this time, and other moves being made, is not to incite or panic Nigerians or the world. The U.S. government is just telling Nigerian leaderships and government to scale up security. The U.S. knows Nigeria's frailty and is doing all it can to help them solve the problem in insecurity in the country. It seems the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration of APC party government and many of the Nigerian security leaderships are not serious about U.S. demand. They do not know how this insecurity is costing American taxpayers a lot of money and a lot of insecurity. Because sooner or later, they will board the plane and come to the U.S. or do other things that nobody knows yet. They are just ignoring the U.S. President, Donald J. Trump. In Nigeria, matters of security according to their constitution, which makes no sense, is solely controlled by the federal government. The police, military, and the paramilitary and foreign affairs are completely the responsibility of the Nigerian federal government under the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So, The state governments and governors can do little or nothing about security. Even police or military located to their states takes command and permission from the federal government of Nigeria before they can operate. Our thought is that Nigerian government has deliberately ignored national security and put mainly lips and paper service to it, while busy budgeting billions of naira, Nigerian money, or US dollars for defense. Records have it that most of the security allocations and money budgeted received in Nigeria either by aid or by direct financial investment in the defense industry ended up to be stolen by corrupt officials of both the federal and state governments and stashed out of the country or used in building unproductive wealth. And most of them are built personal wealth. Even when the names of financiers of these Islamic terrorist groups are provided to the federal government by foreign governments, they will never have courage to investigate and remove them from service or try them and lock them up to jail. Most of the leaderships of the military and police outfits divert the money meant for security and for their foot soldiers and police to themselves and their families, and nothing is ever done by any sitting federal government from many years now till now to these thieves. No United States government have ever made this kind of security moves about Nigeria. This sounds like a major warning from the US Trump administration to the administration of President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria. The levels of corruption by Nigerian leaderships at all levels of government and governance is really going bad for the country called Nigeria. And the United States government of President Donald J. Trump have a lot of interest in stabilizing Nigerian governance and the people, or else there will be a continuous flow of migrants, which he doesn't want, in huge numbers from Nigeria to the US and diaspora. The corrupt political leaderships of Nigeria never pay attention to the mass migration of both their highly educated and less educated. Instead, they put their economy and national budget on money from diaspora while looting uncontrollably the national generated income and stash them away. This trend has been the culture of Nigerian politicians, old and young. It is in record, and nobody wants to open the books. Allegations upon allegations of financial misappropriation and corrupt stealing and looting is never tried and concluded, as records will show, after president, state governors after state government officials and ministers after all ministers. In fact, some of them run away and take positions in places like Dominican Republic, never go to jail unless official or unless the official or president is dead before he could be investigated and his loots are even coveted by other officials. Take, for instance, the military dictator Abacha's loots and stealing is a typical example. And now, because Buhari is dead, and he as godfather and father-in-law of Malami, his former Attorney General of Justice, and his central bank governor, Emefiele, are being allegedly implicated in looting and corruption practices and stashing away of national funds. That is because Buhari is dead. Who is trying orders from independence till now? From the inception of Obasanjo's administration till now, who is trying those ones, those ministers of defense, those inspector generals of police, who is putting them under trial after their huge and shameful failures? If Buhari was alive or Abacha, no one can bring them up to answer for their crimes. Who has tried Babangida, Obasanjo, or any other person that has led that country before now? Even if that happens, it will surely be cosmetic or in nature to deflect attention. It's in record. It's recorded and alleged that President Bola Tinubu committed drug crimes and certificate forgery in the United States of America. Whether this is true or not, should this now not be a serious concern to him? How about his vice president, Kashim Shettima, who is alleged, whether wrongly or rightly, is a diner with Boko Haram terrorists in the recent past? President Trump may not be distracted about Nigeria anyway because of Iran-Israel war he is involved with. It will benefit his administration a lot to tame the massive migration of Nigerians to the U.S. due to fear of terrorism, crimes, kidnapping, and lack of concern about all that by leaderships, and lack of concern of Nigerian leaderships, Senate, House of Representatives, governors, ministers, and the president himself about corruption impact. It seems also that due to more attention to political destabilization of the opposition parties in Nigeria, and Nigerian present administration running out of strategies and clues of combating terrorism, murder of Christians, and displacing them, and crimes of kidnapping and the rest of huge crimes, President Trump may give an answer and solution to Nigerian problem, and he will receive a big applause when that happens. But for now, what's President Trump's next action in Nigeria is still evolving. Mr. Mike Arnold, the former U.S. Republican mayor of Blanco, Texas, in his media caution to the public, asked people to watch the next 2 weeks on Nigeria following President Tinubu's $9 million lobby in the U.S. and the U.S. Senator Ted Cruz's statement of U.S. tracking Nigerian leaderships. U.S. having military drone in Bauchi State, mapping and monitoring terrorist activities in Nigeria. The USS Paul Ignatius warship sitting in Gulf of Guinea. All this has caught up President Trump's attention. Whether he will use kinetic or unkinetic methods to enforce security for Christians and non-violent civilians of other religions being massacred is anybody's guess. He might decide to come in their defense and make sure the hated terrorists who are murdering people all over the country are stopped. All thoughts have it that no United States government or administration says something and forget about it just like that, and will never fizzle out as Nigerian APC party leaderships will wish, and as they themselves fizzle out when it comes to responsibility, except corruption they don't fizzle out from. And they are gesturing politically about the country and insecurity. It's not yet over unless Bola Tinubu's APC administration does something dramatic about corruption, the Christian mothers, and genocide and displacement by terrorists of Boko Haram and Islamic State groups that America hates, and kidnapping and other crimes in Nigeria, which Nigerian leaderships have ignored for a long time and become culprits to them. Nigerian leaderships should update themselves with Iranian Islamic Republic Shiites' long-time cautions to stop weaponizing and financing terrorist groups around the world, including Nigerian Islamic terrorists groups, and stop trying to enrich uranium for nuclear weapon development. And Iranian Shiite leaders of the Ayatollahs and the rest of them kept making mockery of the U.S. administration's gestures all the time until President Trump summoned courage, in conjunction with Israel, wiped up the Iranian Shiite Islamic leaderships, including the Ayatollahs and their military leaders and commander, off the planet. They now are over there with their ancestors. The remnant of that fight is currently being ramped up. That's it for now. If Nigerian leaders know what they are doing, which I guess they are clowning over it and preferring gesturing and looting and corrupting themselves, thinking that nobody is seeing what they are doing, they are goners if they don't know it. Till next video, please subscribe, share, and press the like button. Thanks for watching.